Brothers and sisters, you might want to note at Mass this weekend that St. Paul will begin the second reading with the words, "Rejoice, have joy," Latin for gaudete. Did you know that St. Paul wrote these words from prison? Brothers and sisters, there are plenty of troubles in our world today and in our lives. Wars, financial crises, political instability, violence, abortion, millions forced into migration or refugee camps, and so much more. Nevertheless, on this, the third Sunday of Advent, the Church, along with St. Paul, invites us to laugh a little, to rejoice, to anticipate something of the coming of perfect joy. The Advent wreath itself, with its 4 candles, calls us to do just that by lighting the rose-colored candle today. And actually, you might note that the color rose is a blend between purple, the color of penance in the Church and sorrow, with white, the color of rejoicing. Symbolized through the Advent wreath, the Church calls us to gaudete, rejoice, in this in-between time, the waiting of Advent and the promise of Christmas. Now let me tell you a quick story of something that happened early in my ministry. I was still a transitional deacon at the time, standing next to a priest at Mass. A parishioner told me after Mass her daughter, a toddler in her arms, woke up in the middle of Mass, pointed at the 2 of us at the altar and said, "Mommy, which one is God?" That actually happens a lot with small children, confusing the ministers of the gospel with God. But in today's gospel, John the Baptizer is faced with a far more serious temptation. People are coming to him in the desert, seeking baptism, and some are asking if maybe he is the Messiah. At this point, John's exceptional virtue is revealed. He doesn't even allow the rumor to start. He confronts the idea immediately, ending with, "Christ must increase, I must decrease." I wonder if that temptation that came to John the Baptist doesn't sometimes come to each of us. Having a 4-year-old confuse a priest or a deacon at the altar with God is not a dangerous situation. But sometimes when we act on our faith, especially undertaking any kind of good deed, we can end up drawing attention to ourselves. But the Baptist reminds us that we are authentic in our charitable deeds only when they point beyond us, through us, to Christ. And so as we continue this Advent journey, time of preparation and waiting, we remember the need to anticipate the joy that awaits us, to laugh a little, to rejoice, to gaudete. But we also recall the need to act on the grace we have been given in our own baptism. And let us be determined to cooperate fully with the good works Christ began in us, so that like John the Baptist, we too might point beyond ourselves to the coming King who inspires every grace and every blessing in our lives. Brothers and sisters, gaudete.